Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I hope this video finds you well, and today's video we will be doing a challenge actually. We'll be doing a random creature generator, and basically it's a generator that gives me a description of a creature and I have to create a creature out of it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So this is how the creature generator looks like when you first open it. Here it's at perchance.org. It tells you the size, the diet, the body, the way it travels, and how many legs it has. Then we also have emojis, ideas, and its color palette. This is the first character that I pulled. It feeds on honey, it's arachnid-like, it walks, and it has 6 legs. It can see things most other creatures cannot. It can produce flowers, can smell things other creatures can't. Pretty exciting, so let's dive in. So pretty much instantly I knew the direction that I wanted to go, and I knew that I wanted to do a spider with like a giant flower around his head, and he was, the base of him was green, and he had multiple eyes because I figured if he can see other things most creatures can't, that he should have a little bit more extra eyes than the usual spider or creature. So after I got my idea down in my sketchbook, I dove right into my tablet and just started sketching out how I wanted him to look. I wanted to have him vines going up his legs, kind of as he was producing them, because it said that he can produce flowers, so I wanted to insinuate that he was making the nature around him grow and flourish, so I think that turned out well. So in the corner I drew this little miniature version of him because I wanted to make sure I was positive on the color palette before I started, so I just kind of used that goofy derpy looking little guy in the corner as a little guide of how I wanted him to look color wise. This video, I actually found it online because I was I really wanted to start creating creatures, and then I found the generator and I was this is a perfect time to practice and make up creatures, and then I decided this would be a really fun YouTube video, so I ended up recording everything, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was super fun to do, and I hope you guys enjoy as well. But back to the drawing, I actually decided not to do line art for this creature, and I wish I did that for the last creature too, and I think it would have turned out a lot better if I did so, but for this one I didn't do line art, and it did perfectly because just letting the shading and the values carry, and it made the drawing just have a completely different vibe, which I really liked. And I just added some gradients at the end of its legs and its fangs to add a little bit of color because it was looking a little bland with all the greens. So I did that, and then for the color palette, I'm actually very, very happy with how the color palette turned out. It was really perfect, and I was actually nervous about that because I just saw brown and red and orange, and I was what am I gonna make this look cool with? But it turned out really good, and the flower was cute and fun to shade. This is actually really fun, and I think it took me about 30 minutes or 40 minutes to draw, or scratch it, I think it was an hour, I don't know, but it didn't take me that long. I think I did all three of these in one night, so it was nice to get that out real quick, and I feel the quality was pretty decent for how long I spent on it. Now I'm just going over with a browner yellow, so that the flower is more defined from the rest of the drawing. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but I got a mic. Yes, shout out to my mom. I hope the audio is a lot better. It feels a lot better, that is. And I feel my lisp isn't as awkward in the video, so which is glad. And I feel it just picks up just my voice and doesn't pick up every little echo and little breath I hear everywhere else, so that was good. I hope you guys enjoyed the quality too. I definitely enjoy having a better quality and not cringing at myself talk every time I watch my video. For the grass, I actually uses the brushes from Ross Draws pack. It was definitely worth the $10. I'm pretty sure it was $10. It was definitely worth it, and if you're looking into getting into digital art, I really recommend watching his videos and buying his brush pack. It's definitely worth the money for me. Even though I don't use it a lot, it's just super nice to have those available tools for you and just have it there just in case you need it. And I was definitely glad I used it because just drawing grass is hard in general. I don't know why, but grass in Pacific is just really hard to do. So I was grateful to have that. And this wraps up creature number 1. I really hope you liked him. I love him. He's like my little baby. And I'm just ready to move on to the next creature. Alright, next little rascal. This creature is super small, carnivore, and eats flesh, jellyfish-like. It walks, has 4 legs, it can produce liquids, it has grooved... What? And he has green blood. Some of these descriptions are really weird. Like, there was one that said that he... Never mind, I forgot. But there's in the emojis. I always ignore the emojis because it's just, and to me, just like not important to the creature design. Call me cheater, but I just exclude it completely. Sometimes I use it just to like spark like, oh, since there's a paint palette, I'll add some splotchy colors on him, you know, but other than that, that's as far as I go with that. Now for this creature, this was the first creature that I used a reference on, because I decided to make it as like a jellyfish, and I was imagining him at first super big, but then I forgot that I said that he was super small, so I had to scratch that vision in my head. But I actually love how he also turned out. The color palette at first, I was worried because if he was in the sea, I was hoping he'd be like a more vibrant, like blue or pink or coral color, but I actually love the green that came with him. And I feel like I used the colors pretty well. I think that's something that I'm proud of with all these creatures. I think I use their color palettes really well. And I think this is why this challenge is helpful, because it honestly teaches me, you know, what to do with what I got. Anyways, back to the creature. He said he eats flesh, so I imagine him like catching like people or prey that are into his way in the ocean that he uses to consume. Because it's very specific. He's a carnivore, but he eats flesh. That makes me cringe a little bit. So I decided to add super like sharp teeth on his little like top part, and then on the bottom I decided to add like a lot of little like flowy vines and stuff. I actually use jellyfish reference on Pinterest to kind of remind myself of the shape of the jellyfish, and I kind of envisioned like him standing next to another creature that I actually pulled. I actually was gonna do 4, but that would have been a lot, especially because I didn't want to, you know, do it for like work on it a second day, so I just decided to call it good for a video for also the sake of editing. But I had and designed in my sketchbook an extra large creature, and he's kind of like, I can't explain it really well except that he's like flat. Kind of reminds me of those like Halo ships in Halo, if you know what I'm talking about. But I wanted to put an illustration of them next to each other so you could see that he's super tiny and the other guy is super big. I didn't do that, but that's definitely in the future. I love all these creatures so much that I'll definitely be redrawing these, especially the last one. He's like my child, bro. I love him so much. But yeah, I think we're starting to wrap up this creature. I really hope you enjoyed creature number 2, and I'll see you at creature number 3.
Give it to me like...
Now on to my favorite character of all. This is an amphibious character. It walks, it is finned, they are hot-blooded, it has a layered neck, and it can make sweet stew its feet. Okay, everything about him is flawless, but what does it mean that he makes sweets to his feet? Like, is he gonna be like cooking up like cupcakes by like his magical feet powers? Cause, you know, no, I'm not drawing that. Anyways, for that weird description part, I decided to just like make like little like colorful stuff coming out of his legs. I don't think I actually did that because I think I forgot because I was so wrapped up in his beautiful design. But for this beauty, I decided to make him have 4 arms. That was just perfect. And before the day, I actually drew Greninja, and he had like a triangle-like face, which helped like, you know, re-insinuate that he was like a reptile. So that's what I did. It also said he had a horn, so I added 2 pairs of horns on each side of his head and fins on his arms. The only thing that I wish I changed about this is I really wish I didn't do line art, I think. If I did, doing line art made it a little more stiff, I guess. It didn't feel as free as the first one. So I'm definitely going to be drawing him a ton, I swear. He's like my child, bro. I love him a lot. I definitely recommend this to people who want to start drawing creatures, but you don't know where to start. So this is a good thing. As you can see on the bottom, that's actually where I like put the little swatches of his quote unquote sweets to his feet. And we're also bringing back the little miniature version of him just because I just want to figure out, how I want the color palette to be, and also how, this is an interesting. First, I had no idea what was I gonna do with this because it was like a neon green with like a red, and there was like this amphibious character. So I just stuck with this little design, and I really, really like it. I also added gradients to the tips of his hand. I know I've said this a million times, but I love him. Also, forgive me if you hear my family in the background here and there where my brothers are playing. This mic is actually very impressive though, because they've been running around playing this whole time, and the mic hasn't been picking it up. So I swear this is not a sponsor, but I'm happy with the quality and the price. I think I may redraw him or redesign more of these guys, because if it was up to me, I think I'd choose a color palette that mix between blue, greens, and maybe even like some splashes of like coral, like purples, pinks, and like maybe orange. We are actually now at the end of creature number 3. I hope you liked him as much as I did, and thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you at the outro. Bye! And that concludes the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed your stay. Bye!